Andalib, in your case, so her latest book is Until We Meet Again, and it revolves around this character called Duha Rahman, who lives in Bangalore. Duha lives with her Ammi and her Abu, and they mean the world to her. And then suddenly her world comes crashing down when her Abu passes away. And Duha, before he passes away, has gone to a friend's engagement and has seen a really good-looking guy and can't stop dreaming about him. She's completely smitten. But then the second shock in her life comes when the guy comes knocking at her door and gives her information that threatens to tear her world apart even more. But what's interesting in your novel is that the father, who is dead, was not the patriarchal man that we see in Kunal's book. In your book, the woman, Duha, has a lot of agency. And I've read that, I've not read all your novels, but I've read other reviews of your novels, which also say that generally you give your Muslim characters a lot of agency. So do you think then that fiction plays a role in changing the way we understand Muslim women, especially in a country where many people tend to have pretty set notions of how they look and behave?
So I feel that books shouldn't depict reality as it is, but also as how it should be. So to contextualize this, last year I went to a literature festival, in a children's literature festival in a school. And these kids were not really, they hadn't read my books, but they had been given information that Andalib is coming. So they Googled me, I think, and some of them had made these questions which were on a bulletin board. So I walked up to one of these bulletin boards to see what the question was. The one in the middle staring out at me was, how do you motivate yourself to keep writing after being oppressed? Despite being oppressed. So I burst out laughing, but inside I was thinking, am I oppressed? I don't think so. I've never seen myself as being oppressed. Would an oppressed person travel all the way from Bangalore to this city in the other end of the country? And I was like, so some child in a good school Googled me, saw me, saw a photo of me in a hijab, which I thought was very stylish, by the way, with this, with my glasses perched on top of my head and all that, and I thought I was being very stylish. This child looked at me and said, oh my God, she's oppressed. So, we have a long way to go. So this is a very small start. So my books definitely showcase women as having agency so that those who don't have agency in their lives, even now, when they read it, they might feel inspired to, rise up against and do something. But that really kind of knocked me for the six because I really did not think of myself that way. So it's kind of very humbling. 16 years since I've been writing, so many books. And for some Gen Z or Gen Alpha kid, I'm oppressed, so.
I think that's what I was referring to when I said some people have some very set notions, right? Or hijab, for them, immediately means oppression. But, I was also talking about the male character in your novel, and he's, as I said, not the patriarchal one. He wants Duha, who's his daughter, to have a very good life and doesn't believe that, she should get married immediately the way her mother wants her to get married. What's it like to write in detail about members of the opposite sex? So in your case, you're really sort of looking into the inner mind of this man. So how does that happen?
It's all imaginary.
A man who cheats on his wife.
Yeah, it's all imaginary. This is all being very optimistic and very hopeful that some man somewhere might be like this. None of the men I've come across are this sorted or this, Yeah, and of course, he's the man who's cheated on his wife, so he has his duality. But I've seen a lot of people who behave a certain way with family, behave a certain way with outsiders. So, but also for me, it was important to show how important his daughter was to him. Because there is this constant demonization of Muslim fathers where, in everywhere you go, and I mean, I'm not saying it's not there, but it's across the spectrum. It's not just Muslim fathers, So I wanted to write about a father who really loved his daughter. So, my father loved me madly, so he didn't live to see me become a writer, unfortunately. But I imagined my father, if he was there, this is how he would feel about me, and so it was just wishful thinking.